So, is this how difficult it actually is to travel through this path? These weaknesses, all these things, these hurdles that lay in my path, they keep showing me how unfit I am to feature in whatever it is that is the agenda of God for my life. Just the other day, I had this next door neighbor who moved in not too long ago, and as the rainy season came, we discovered her roof was leaking. And many nights when it rains, she comes to spend the night in my room, and then I'm faced with my weakness, and I claim I have anything to do with God. Just the other day in class, I couldn't curtail my emotions. My anger is just way above my imagination. With all these visible weaknesses, how would I be able to reach the mark? How would I be able to achieve whatsoever God has intended for me? I believe in what He has said over the time. I believe in the visions, all the things He has shown me over the years. I come back to square zero. I start again, and it's just the circle. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I'm just at my wit's end right now, and I feel it's time to I just feel like giving up and forgetting about this thing. I'm tired.
That's okay, Jojo. I can relate with how you feel. And surely, whenever what you do is different from what you believe, there is also always a gap that breeds this emptiness you feel. When all you believe in is different from the realities around you, it's only normal to feel not just that you have failed, but also that you are a failure. Of course, questions begin to rise that you hardly have answers to. You tend to see all that God has said on one side, and then your realities, your everyday realities on the other side. They attempt at reconciling that yawning gap is the reason you feel the way you feel. Again, remember that critical to this journey and to destiny is a fool. The Bible calls him the accuser. He is not a general accuser. He is the accuser of the brethren. So one of the things he does is that in your mind, he magnifies all the happenings around you. So he depletes your drive and in fact capacity to pursue on. This is not in any way to insulate you from the blames of not being able to live up to expectations. Not at all. And I repeat, not at all. But never forget that if you insist that, oh, I will be as resolved as the devil is, as resolved as he is to stop me, I am resolved not to be stopped. You can lift up your head and say, this is failure, but I will succeed. These are obvious setbacks, but I refuse to be kept back. Sure, things have not gone exactly how I would have loved them to go. But I refuse to stop here. Every man that ever made his mark on the sands of time had that stubborn adamance, refusing to be stopped at junctions where the enemy waited for them. You can refuse to be stopped by sin. You can refuse to be stopped by a character flaw. You can refuse to be stopped by the onslaughts of Satan, and indeed by his red-hot accusation, forcefully sponsored by his agents of darkness. You can refuse.
How do I do this? I know the practicalities of righteousness and I have done everything to abide by them, but I seem to just fail. It seems that's the normal thing that happens. I fail despite every attempt that I am putting at it.
Thank you, my dear. The question is, how do I do this?
How do I?
First, let me make you note that as much as there are human responsibilities as touching what you become, your first priority will be to trust wholly in the grace of God and his capacity to see you on. And I hope you don't mix this up at this moment. Here is the argument. Anyone that succeeds on this journey is first the one that is helped of God. Take away the help of God and you run into the real you that is weak, the real you that is limited, the real you that fell and can still fall all over again minus his help. The help of God is a critical resource of heaven. The help of God is that element that fuels your capacity to say no, and a right and strong no to the things you ought to say no to. So first of all, cease from trusting in your ability. Never forget the scriptures. Trust in the Lord with some of your heart. Trust in the Lord and trust in your human abilities and capacities. Trust in the Lord. How? With all your heart. 2, that you lean not on your understanding or ability or capacity or capability. And In some of your ways, acknowledge him. All of your ways. All. Meaning that you reach a truce with the Almighty. Master, if I ever succeeded, it is because you crafted it for me. If I ever go far, it is because you took me far. Anything else or less than an absolute dependence on the capacity of the Almighty will only expose your many inabilities. That's number one. And of course, it is critical. Again, my dear, your company is as important to this journey as any other thing you can think of. Your company. Will you succeed? Will you go far? Will you not go far? Company is critical. And you like to ask, what do you mean? A friend of fools cannot be wise. A friend to negatively minded people cannot be positively minded. There are lots of abilities and capacities that heaven has locked up in you. All it needs is a trigger sponsored by the wings of those you relate with. Relationship. Never forget Saul. Saul had gone after the missing ass of his father. And while looking for the missing ass, he found the prophet of God, Samuel, who anointed him king over Israel. You still remember? That was the first king of Israel. And he said something to him. He said, I have anointed you. Now, but as you leave this place, you will find a company of prophets. Just go on, you will find them. So, the man anointed looked at like an ordinary man, an everyday man. Then suddenly he located the company of prophets. Immediately he entered the company of prophets. Even Saul began to prophesy. And why did I say even Saul? He has no lineage traceable to prophecy or the prophets. He began to prophesy on the wings of relationship. There are some struggles and troubles that will end because of those you relate with. Oh, will I go over these hurdles? Oh, sure. But be mindful of your relationships. There are graces that are locked up in you that will only gain expression by the power of the right relationships. When you meet the right people, your life begin to go in the right direction. So, you must watch out to know those whose hearts pant after God. To know those who are not absolutely perfect. But of course, heaven has locked up something in them that will be of good use to you. I could say that again and again and again. You know what? Even Saul prophesied. As weak as he was, he prophesied. As not in the lineage as he was, he prophesied. He met a company. The oil, even the oil, was waiting for a company. So there are times that graces that have been already imparted to you are just waiting for that trigger in company. And should I say more? Yes, I will. I will say a whole lot more, but maybe not on this occasion. We will talk again, but very critical. Let me not forget to say to you that you have a huge responsibility too. What is your responsibility? I've talked on you trusting in God. I've talked on you finding the right company. And of course, I must also emphasize again your capacity, your ability to say, this is what God has said concerning me. I choose to believe it above any other thing I see around me. I pursue his good. I will ignore the darts that the enemy casts at me. And sure, my dear, you will arrive.
Amen.
Men before you arrived, you will arrive.
Amen.
They had their weaknesses and incapabilities and incapacities. But this same God that was true to the generations before you will yet prove himself faithful in the same tradition of helping all those who cry to him.
Yes.
He will help you.
Yes.
He will help you, I'm sure.
Thank you, Patriarch.
Bless you, my dear.
I'm resolved, despite my limp, to keep focus and run this race.
Wow.
I will run.
Wow.
Thank you for your belief. Thank you for everything.
Prayers of a mind of prophet.
Bless you, my dear. Bless you. Bless you.
This is the prayer of a man of prophet. God, I bring my heart for you to possess. Jesus, empty me from every wrong deposit, till the Holy Spirit be the only thing I possess. I do not come with a song, I came with a prayer. My knees bent, I'm a two hands in the air. They asked me to come tonight, I came here.